In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a lead qualification voice agent for real estate companies. Every day, real estate agents will receive hundreds or thousands of calls if they're a big company with people calling up interested in homes, but they may not be actual serious buyers. Now, if they could have a qualification agent which would outbound a call as soon as someone has entered their details, this would allow them to qualify leads and instantly book them in for viewings if they're ready to buy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this build works from start to finish when you've built it, and then we're going to build it step by step in n8n and also in VAPI. So to trigger this workflow, what we need to do is we need to fill in a form, which could be a form that's on the company's website or entered through social media, whatever the case may be. And it's going to be with details. If I hit execute workflow here, it's going to be with certain details. So their name, the property they're interested in, and what their phone number is. Now I'm just going to make these values up. I'm going to put it with my name and some fake property. Obviously, I'll put my number so it calls my phone. But what this is going to do, someone would fill this in, and then instantly you're going to see that they're going to receive a call from our voice agent, which is going to qualify them. And then if they're qualified, it's going to book into our Google calendars. So let me fill in these details. Okay, so I've filled out the details here. As you can see, I'm going to hit submit, and then should be able to receive a call in just a moment from the qualification agent. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit here. The agent has triggered now, and now I'm receiving a call on my phone, which you can see. So I'm going to answer.
Hey, this is Jack from London Housing. I saw you filled in our form and just wanted to give you a quick call if you are free.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. I noticed you were interested in 77 Royal Oak. Is it the photos that caught your eye, or are you just curious about what's out there right now?
No, it looks really good, and I'd like to move in ASAP because I've already sold my house, actually.
Got it. That's exciting. Congrats on selling your home. Just so I can match you with the best options, have you already spoken to a mortgage broker, or will you be buying with cash?
No, I've already spoken to a mortgage broker.
Perfect. That's great to hear. And just to double check, are you hoping to move within the next 3 or 4 months, or is your timeline a bit more flexible?
No, my timeline is pretty soon, so I want to move in like as soon as possible within the next month or two.
Awesome. You're in a fantastic position. Would you generally prefer to view the property on a weekday or a weekend?
Weekday, afternoon time works best for me.
Let me just pull up the calendar for weekday afternoons next week. Okay. We've got plenty of slots open. Would you prefer Monday or later in the week?
No, Monday works. I should be able to do that.
Brilliant. Let's get you in for Monday afternoon. Is there a specific time after 12 p.m. that works best for you? I can do anything from early afternoon up until 5 p.m.
Let's do 1 p.m.
Amazing, Tom. I've got you locked in for a viewing at 77 Royal Oak this Monday at 1 p.m. I'll send you a quick confirmation as well. Really looking forward to showing you around.
Perfect. We look forward to seeing you then.
Perfect. You're all set for Monday at 1. On the day, I'll meet you right outside 77 Royal Oak. If you need directions or want to bring someone along, just let me know. Before we wrap up, is there anything specific you want to see or ask about the property when you come by?
Nah, that's it. Cheers, mate.
Brilliant, Tom. Thanks for your time. Really looking forward to meeting you on Monday. If you need anything before then, just give me a shout. Have a great evening.
Perfect. Okay, so you can see that we had a successful call and it's identified me as a hot lead, and now it's booked me into the Google Calendar. So you can see we've got property viewing at 77 Royal Oak with myself. Okay, now if we go back to the workflow here, you can see that the rest of the workflow is triggered. It's gone and got our call details, and now our AI agent should have gone ahead and updated our Airtable. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Perfect. So you can see it's populated it with my name, the property that we're visiting, if a call's been booked or not, what the view date is, and notes about the client, and also a qualification rating from 0 to 10. So you can see that it's put in some key notes here about that I'm looking to move in really soon, and I've already spoken to a mortgage broker, and all of these details which were mentioned in the call. Okay, so now that you can see how this workflow works from start to finish, we're going to build it in n8n and also in VAPI. Okay, so the first step we want to add in our n8n workflow is a form submission node. So I'm going to hit our first node here, and I'm going to type on the n8n form. So there's a couple things we want to fill in. Obviously, you can title this whatever you want. We're just going to say real estate form. And we're just going to put in a description of fill in your details. Obviously, this can be adjusted as you want to. Okay, so as you can see, we've also got 3 form elements that we need to put in. So it's the person's name, what property they're interested in, and also their phone number. So to add a form element, you literally just hit this form element button here. But we only need 3 for this one. And we can leave on to respond when a form is submitted. Okay, perfect. Now, our next step is going to be to outbound a call to our VAPI agent. So what we want to do for that, as VAPI isn't an inbuilt node in n8n, unfortunately, we need to do a HTTP request. So I'm going to add our first one in here. And this is going to be a post request. So you want to change that to post. And the URL you want to put in, I'm just going to copy. So this is the URL that we want to outbound a call via our VAPI agent. And we want to send a couple of things. We want to send headers, and we also want to send a body. And the body we're going to be sending is using JSON. But first, let's fill out the headers column. So the first header that we want to add is an authorization header, and we're going to put in bearer and then our API token here. So to get our API token, we need to go over to VAPI, where we can find it in our settings. So head on over to VAPI. If you haven't created an account already, make sure you do that, and then go to the API's keys section here. And then you can see we've got our private key here. Now, then you just want to click copy ID. Now, you want to back over to your n8n workflow and just copy that API key in right here. So obviously, this is just some random letters, but this is where your API key wants to be. Now, our next header, what we want to send is a content type, and this is going to be application/JSON, just like so. Now, in our body that we're going to be sending as our HTTP request, I'm going to open this up quickly, and there's a few things we want to put in here. So firstly, we need to put in an assistant ID. So we need to get this from VAPI when we've actually created our assistants. We're going to come back to that. And also our phone number ID, which again, we need to get from VAPI. But the 3 things we can fill in from our n8n workflow are the number. So this is going to be the number that we want to outbound a call to, and also the name and the property. So to do that, we need to execute our previous node. So let's do that quickly. Okay, so I've just put some random values in here because it doesn't matter because it's not actually part of our main workflow yet, but I'm going to hit submit just so we can drag and drop these over. So I can now drag and drop our name into the name part here, and then I can put into the property section what property they're interested in over here, and also the number we are going to drop into this part here. Now in our form we said that we want them to put the country code in, so we don't need to add a plus at the start here. Now, to get our assistant ID and also the phone number that we want to be calling with, like I said, we need to get that from VAPI. So to get our assistant ID, we need to copy that from here. Obviously, we haven't created an agent in this tutorial yet, but just bear in mind when we do create it in just a moment's time that this is where you want to copy it. So we're going to hit copy here. You want to go back to your n8n workflow and then copy that into this part there. And then same thing for our phone number. We want to go to the phone number section, and then you want to copy the ID there. Obviously, this is going to require that you import a number from Twilio or Vonage, whatever the case may be. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube that show you how to do that in literally a couple minutes. So I'm not going to walk you through how to do that, but the same thing, you want to copy your phone number from this phone number section here. Okay, perfect. Now that is our first 2 nodes done. So now what we're going to add is a wait node. So at this point, the agent would have outbounded a call to the person that just filled in the form, but we need to wait, and then we're going to pull the transcription from that call. So we're going to put a wait node here to wait a few minutes. You can put this however long you want, maybe 5, 10, whatever the case may be. We just need to add a wait node here. So wait, and I'm going to change this to minutes. Now our next node we want to add in is another HTTP request, and this is to be able to get the transcript from the call that we can give to our AI agent. So again, HTTP request, and this time we're going to be making a GET request, so we can leave it as that. Now in our URL, we want to have it as HTTP VAPI/call, and then we're going to have the ID of the call. Now this is JSON ID as the previous node, the HTTP request node. This is where we get our JSON ID from. So you can either run this node and then drag and drop it into here, or if you literally just copy this text, it's going to work. Now we want to turn send headers on. And then again, we want to put in authorization in the name, and then the value is going to be bearer, and then again, your API key, which we did in the other HTTP node. And that is it for this node. It's a really simple one because all we're going to be doing is getting the transcript, which is going to come in our output here. Okay, perfect. Now our last one is going to be an AI agent. So I'm going to add our agent in here. We don't have a connected chat trigger node, so we want to change this to define below. And then we're going to add a system message as well. Okay, now in our use message, so this is basically the specific information we need to give our agent that changes per call. We're going to give it our name, so it's going to be the name of the person that's made an inquiry, the property that it's about, so we can drag and drop that into there, and then finally the call transcript. Now we can't drag this over because we haven't run this node yet, But if you copy this text I'm going to show in just a moment, it's going to do the same thing as if you had run the node. So if you just put json.transcript, this is going to pull the transcript from our call, which is from this node, and it's going to give the agent all the information from the call we've just had. Okay, now going into our system message here, I'm going to open this up, and you can see that we've got a few different parts. So we've got the role, what we want our agent to do, what its objective is, the data to extract, and how to qualify the lead if it's a hot, medium, or cold lead. So in our voice agent, we actually are going to qualify the lead already on that call, but the reason we've got this criteria here is to update our Airtable correctly. So that's the only reason that we have this lead qualification criteria also in this prompt. And then finally, once it's done all of that, what we ask it to do is update our Airtable tool, where we're going to push all this information to. Okay, so now in our AI agent, we need to add a brain so it can do all of its thinking. So I'm just going to add an OpenAI brain. Obviously, connect to your OpenAI account if you haven't done this already. I'm going to change to a 4 mini model as I don't have access to the 5 yet. I haven't filled it in with some business details that I need to. So we can put that on a 4.1 mini, and we can leave that as it is. Now, we also want to add our Airtable tool. So this can allow us to push everything to this Airtable database, our CRM effectively, where we've got all this info. But before we do that, I'm going to show you in Airtable that how we can quickly create this database and all the fields that we need to, and then we can update everything to that table. Okay, so in your Airtable space, obviously you need to sign up for an account if you haven't done already. It's really simple. Then you want to click the add button here to create a workspace. So I've already created mine, so I'm going to go onto mine. And then you want to create a table. So as you can see, I've already created mine, so I'm going to open mine up. And then we've got a few different fields that we need to add. You can rename this table if you want, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a few fields we need to put in. So we've got first the name, we've got property, then we've got if they've booked a call or not, and we've got a view date, and then we've got some notes about the client, and then a qualification rating. So a really simple Airtable in this case. Make sure you add these few fields here. Perfect. Then when you've done that, you're going to head back over to n8n, and we're going to add in our Airtable tool. So if I just search Airtable in here, we can add our Airtable tool, and we're going to change this operation to create or update. And then from the base, we want to select our real estate base, and then the table, we're going to select the table that we've got in our database. Now, in all of these fields, we're going to AI define them. So we're just going to turn on AI to define all of these different fields here by clicking this button and then put in a description for each of them. Okay, perfect. So that is our Airtable tool done. And now we've got all the different fields added that we need. And our n8n workflow is actually done. I haven't run it from start to finish, but it would work. Now we're going to go over to VAPI to create our voice agent. Okay, so once you're in VAPI and you've created an account, if you haven't done already, you want to hit on Create Assistant here. Name your assistant. It's just going to be a blank template. So then hit Create Assistant here. Now, don't forget to copy your assistant ID, also your API key and your phone number ID into that previous n8n workflow where we had our first HTTP module. Okay, so in our first message here, I've just got hey, this is Jack from London Housing. So obviously this is some random company. You want to replace this for the real estate company that you're building with, or if it's your real estate company, name of your business. And then I saw you filled in our form, and I just wanted to give you a quick call if you're free. Now, in our system prompt, which is dictating how our call goes and some variables that we're going to be giving it, I'll show you how to do this. So if I open the system prompt up here, we've got a few different parts. We've got the role and persona, or objective, and some really key parts here, which is the context. So its role is basically a friendly professional real estate agent who's going to qualify incoming leads that we've got from our forms. The objective is to qualify the lead if it's a hot lead and we want to get them booked into our Google Calendar. Now we've given it some context. So this is the lead name as we sent this information off in our HTTP request. Property of interest, so the property there, and the current time, which is now. So this is going to allow it to book into our Google Calendar. Now we've also got a couple of tools it's got access to. So the first one is the Google Calendar check availability tool, and I'm going to show you how to implement this in a second, and also a Google Calendar tool to book in those meetings. Now I'm going to have this prompt all in my school community. You can access it all for free. So go over there if you want to access this. But the whole point of this prompt is just to qualify the leads and then book them into our Google Calendar if they match our criteria. Okay, perfect. And once we've done that, we've got a couple of tools we need to add that I mentioned, and these are our Google Calendar tools. So I'm going to show you how we can create those just now. You want to go to your tools section here, and you want to go to the create tool part here, scroll down, and then you're going to see a Google Calendar tool that we've got already integrated. So you want to hit on create event. It's going to be our first tool. So it's going to name it automatically, probably Google Calendar tool. Name it that if it doesn't automatically. Give it a brief description if you want to. And then we've got a calendar ID, which we need to copy over from our Google Calendar. Then you need to select your time zone here. So I'm going to show you how to get this calendar ID over in Google Calendars. So go over to your Google Calendar account, hit on the three dots here, and then go to settings and sharing. Now, once you've gone onto your settings for your calendar, you want to go down to integrate calendar here. And then you're going to see that I have a calendar ID, which you're going to be able to copy over. So copy this, go back over to VAPI, and then copy in that calendar ID into this part here. Perfect. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for our next Google Calendar tool. And we're going to go down to Google Calendar, and then it's going to be check availability, which we're going to do this time. Open this tool up, and it should automatically name itself. Name this if it doesn't. And then the same thing, you want to grab your calendar ID tool, and copy this into this box. And then the same thing, we're going to put the same time zone that we've got, and then hit save. Now you want to go back over to your assistant, scroll down to the tool section, hit the drop down here, and then you want to add both the tools we've just created. And that is everything in our VAPI agent. So obviously remember to copy your ID over and put it into this HTTP request that we've got. And then you have got this workflow built from start. Like I mentioned, all of this is available for free inside of my school community. So you'll be able to copy the prompts, the templates, everything over there. So make sure to go over there if you want to get access to this. But that's everything for this video. If you are a real estate company and you'd like to build something like this for you, go to the website in the description and make sure to get in touch with me and we can start this process for yourselves. If you're an AI agency and you found this build useful, please let me know. Hit the like and subscribe button so I know to make more videos like this in the future. And that is everything. So I'll catch you in the next video.